Okay, good morning, everyone. Or if you're not in a morning time zone, good afternoon or evening from wherever you're calling in from. Welcome you. We are going to give it a minute or two and let everybody circle into the webinar, and then we'll get started in a bit. So if you hang tight, we'll be right with you. Good morning, Julio. Okay, folks, we're going to get started. Again, welcome, good morning or afternoon from wherever you're calling in from. I'm Jim Lynch. I am the Gaming and Collectibles Supply Category Manager for GTS Distribution. We'll welcome KMC with us today. Real quick, a couple of housekeeping things to take care of. Obviously, welcome to the GTS Retailer to Publish a Webinar Series. If you're not familiar with Zoom, you can interact live with our presenters, and we encourage that. By hovering over the screen, you'll see some controls show at the bottom of the screen. You can click on the chat window button, and it will appear on the right side. There you have the option to either select panelists, which is myself and Bill and Scott here, or you can select panelists and attendees, and that will be visible to everyone on the call. You're also encouraged, if you so feel, to unmute yourself and ask a question directly. If you're watching the video on our YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel to make sure you're updated for future videos. If you're a retailer and would like to be notified for future webinars, you can register to be notified using the link in the description. And with that, again, you can see Bill and Scott from KMC with us. I'm going to turn it over to Bill to get us rolling, but we are really excited to get KMC in front of us. We have some new products we're going to introduce and kind of go over the whole line and just update everybody on where we are. So, Bill, all you.
Great. Thank you for the introduction, Jim, and thank you for having us on the webinar today. And thanks to all of you retailers out there that have taken some of your valuable time to join us today. Your time is valuable, and we appreciate you taking a few minutes with us, and we're excited to present to you today. So Scott and I are the co-owners of KMC USA. We're having a lot of fun doing this. Scott will introduce himself. My brother brought KMC to many of you and to GTS many years ago. And he passed a couple of years ago. I got the opportunity to get involved. Scott already was involved, and we're, like I said, having a good time, and we're glad here to be here today to present to you what's new with KMC and what's old with KMC. And without further ado, I'll pass you on to Scott Gossett, my partner, and he'll take it from here.
Right on. Thanks, Bill. All right, I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to go on to our PowerPoint presentation. All right, is everything running looking good, guys?
Yep, looks good.
Scott.
All right, cool. Well, the first thing that I feel like we should go over is our KMC USA Limited line. The thing that makes KMC USA different from KMC Japan is KMC Japan has given us the right to be able to represent their brand fully the way that we would like to in the United States. We had run into issues when I was previously working with Bill's brother, where as you guys may have heard, that there were some QC issues that people were discussing. So we figured the best way to handle those so that we would be able to track where the product was coming from, we would create our own packaging, which was a USA limited line. This way, we would know exactly where the products was sourced from because the Japanese factory only supplies these products directly to us. Another good reason for having this is that we have our 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. We created the USA Limited product line to provide the best possible customer service for our customers. With this line, we can easily identify the products we have sourced, allowing us to quickly take care of any customer issues that arise. The 100% customer satisfaction guarantee provides any customer 30 days with receipt to have any sleeves that they are dissatisfied with replaced at no charge to them, no shipping charges, nothing. So for your store, you can contact us or have your customers contact us if they have any issues at all with their sleeves. We don't want you guys to have to worry about taking care of it or trying to figure out how to get a refund or get money back from us or whatever. Just send them directly to us and we'll replace their sleeves if they have any issues. The other reason why KMC USA Limited is so important is to identify potential counterfeit sleeves. We questioned a lot of the customers who seem to have issues with their sleeves, and almost 75% of them said that they came from Amazon. And the problem is that when you go actually look who's selling the sleeves on Amazon, they're always random overseas sellers, and we definitely don't supply them. So we've questioned KMC, the factory in Japan themselves as well. And when we did, and this was in November of 2018, so maybe things could have changed, but back then, they actually said that they didn't even know what Amazon was. So that ought to tell you that I do not believe that they're also selling to these people who are selling on Amazon. So we're kind of afraid that there are random Chinese knockoffs running around. So we just wanted to make sure that we branded all of our stuff with USA Limited. That way, no matter what, we could always take the best care of our customers and know where the supply is coming from. Next is our new flagship product, the Hyper Phoenix. These are outer sleeves that are not necessarily meant to replace our previous Hypermat line, but kind of just to be an evolution of those. We had set out to create our precision cut sleeve, and the Hyper Phoenix sleeve is 0.2 millimeters thicker than any sleeve we've produced in the past. These are the Cadillacs of sleeves. The second you have them in your hand, you'll know you're dealing with quality. With an Unreal Shuffle feel, these sleeves are when you're only looking for the best. It's funny because when you use sleeves and even hypermats, like I feel like you almost feel too much flex in cards, and these with the added thickness really feel like they're giving a protectable barrier more than just keeping them from getting scuffed or kind of like edges nicked. They fit perfect. I don't know if you'll notice with other sleeve brands, they'll be a little like very long at the top or just maybe kind of like too wide on the sides. And we've actually cut these to where they have no unnecessary excessive plastic material, and they are trimmed to cover your card, and that's it. Line. This is our best-selling line. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these because top load perfect fits are our biggest seller. And from what we hear, the most popular sleeve used to double sleeve. The top load, if you have not heard of that one, is just a regular thin top load perfect fit sleeve, which is meant, if obviously if you're not familiar as well, to be double sleeving your card. So you take the inner sleeve, put it over your card, then put this into one of a typical type of outer sleeve, like a Dragon Shield or like our Hypermat or BCWs. The perfect card is actually made to be double the thickness of the top load perfect for extra rigidity and protecting your card. These are still intended for double sleeving. The side in perfect is a perfect sleeve in which you actually slide it in from the side rather than the bottom of the sleeve. Some people prefer these just because there isn't unnecessary wiggle room at the top and the bottom. Some people say that they would prefer not to because they think it exposes more of the card. It's really a personal preference thing. The perfect fit black sleeve to the right of the side ends is a black backed purple sleeve, perfect sleeve, made so that there will be no translucency and only pure opacity in the back of the card. This way, certain sleeves, like sometimes white sleeves, for example, will kind of show through translucently. And in case you're worried about that in a tournament scenario, these completely black out the back, so you have no worries about people believing that you could be cheating.
And of course, Scott, as you mentioned, sorry to jump in,
no, you're
our
good.
top load perfect is by far our #1 selling SKU. If you're not selling those, somebody else is, because that is by far #1. Perfect hard is #2 or 3. And those are both growing at a rapid pace, the fastest pace. So those are our best sellers.
Right on. Then we have the Perfect Fit mini sleeves, which are probably easy to know exactly what those are. They're just made for standard Japanese size cards like Yu-Gi-Oh! In case none of you were familiar, recently Konami, the company that makes Yu-Gi-Oh!, has decided to lift their restrictions on not allowing double sleeving in tournaments. So recently we've had a huge uptick in sales of the Perfect Minis now that Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are allowed to double. There is also the mini character guard, which character guards are typically seen as a sleeve to protect outer sleeves, and I'm going to get more into that later, but those have actually become very popular as far as double sleeving in Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes as well. All right, now we are on to our outer sleeves. I'm sure all of you are familiar with our hyper mats. I'm just not sure that you are familiar with them in the USA Limited. Previously, they all came in 80 count packs. This is another change that me and Bill's brother had actually implemented. And that was with the rise of Commander being such a popular format, we realized that we needed to start selling our sleeves in 100 count packs. In Japan, Commander is almost a non-existent format. It's mainly a North America thing. So they didn't really see the need to make 100 count packs of sleeves. And we actually were the ones who brought this to the US market. The Hypermat Premium 100 is almost exactly the same as the normal Hypermats, except they're our non-glare sleeve. So when the sleeves are in front of a camera, these are going to much better repel the glare than, say, a normal Hypermat sleeve would. Our Super Alpha is the new version of our old Super line. Previous Supers were actually completely smooth back, and Super Alphas now have a slight texture. The thing I really like about Super Alphas is that they are significantly thinner than Hypermats. And for people like Commander players, this actually works out pretty well, because in a Commander sized deck, even when double sleeved, it knocks off about a 10 card thickness compared to what like a Hypermat or a Dragon Shield would be. So lighter deck and much easier to shuffle. And then, as we all know, Commander decks are kind of miserable to shuffle because there's just 100 cards and it's just kind of insane sometimes. Then, as we've already talked about before, we have our Hyper Phoenix, which is going to be our new most pushed popular line. We're going to be bringing in colors. We're hoping around September, October, because right now they're only available in black.
Hey, Scott, real quick. I'm not sure if we got this coming up on future slides, but one thing that jumps out on the packaging there is the USA branded labeling on it. I don't know if you were going to talk about that, but if you can, that just kind of distinguishes the current batch of products from what might have been out there, a couple years back.
Yeah, I did touch on that a little bit, but yes, I will focus on just saying that another important reason is that at some point, when there were issues with product, the USA Limited will show that this is newly minted product. So if you had any issues or worries that there could be any of the past quality control issues, all of anything in a USA Limited package is going to represent the newest quality that we have went through stringent quality control standards, and these should be great. And worst case, if you were to have any issues at all, when I mentioned earlier about the 100% customer satisfaction guarantee, you or your customers can just contact us directly and we'll send you new sleeves, even if.
And keep in mind that the USA label has been, what is it, Scott, 4 years now? So that's
we actually launched them in 2018. So definitely getting there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think it was like July of 2018. That sounds about right. Now we'll move on to our mini outer sleeves. Again, these are just our sleeves that are made to take care of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Take care of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Player base. The USA Mini Hyper Mats, these are our most popular mini sleeves. And I'm pretty sure as long as you guys follow Yu-Gi-Oh!, you know that mini white, for whatever reason, is by far the biggest seller. And it's strange because in Magic, for whatever reason, black is the most, and in Yu-Gi-Oh! They sell the most white. So that's just an interesting little tidbit. Alpha minis are just like our super alphas I showed you for the outer sleeves, except in a mini size. And again, probably about 0.2 millimeters thinner than the typical hyper mats. Now, this is our sleeve line that most people, if you were to be unfamiliar with anything we sold, I would assume it would be this. Character guard sleeves are made to protect your art outer sleeves. So, you know, when people like to buy the Ultra Pro sleeves that have Magic the Gathering art on them or anime, and as people will know that once you shuffle them a lot, all that art starts to come off, especially after 6 months of time. These are made to protect your outer sleeves so that you never have to worry about your art wearing off in case you really like those, because sometimes there's limited edition art sleeves and you don't really want to ruin them. Our matte and clear outer character guard sleeves have a texture, although they are translucent on the back, they're not exactly perfectly transparent. And so the benefit here is if you're playing in a tournament, the texture on the back will allow you to have your deck not slide around. So you'll be, you know, again, less worried that people will consider that you cheat. The super hards, on the other hand, that are right next to them are practically the same sleeve, except they have no texture on the back. So they're perfectly transparent. And these are for the people who I would say are probably more casual, who really just want to get a good look at the art in the back of their sleeves and have it unencumbered by, say, the texture and the frost that would be on the back of the matte and clears. The Silver Scroll Character Guard outer sleeves have a silver border pattern, as you can see on the gold ones. And those are pretty much just for decoration. They have perfectly transparent, except for the character silver scroll or gold scroll border. The mini character guards that we have are also currently have a completely transparent, but we are working with a factory in Japan to get mini sleeves that also protect the outer art sleeves and are perfectly transparent instead of having any form of design on them. And now this is our card box 1000 count. This has seen a huge uptick in popularity recently, ever since the Tolarian Community College had released a video calling it the most economical version of a storage case. And yeah, I mean, it is no frills. There's nothing fancy about it. Like there's a lot of Ultimate Guard cases that are wrapped in, you know, like a pleather outer case with like a kind of velvety interior. These are really just purely for storage and probably the best, most cheapest, efficient way that you're going to get to be able to store your cards. Right now, this is going to be about the end of this part of the presentation. If Bill doesn't have anything to mention, and we could go to questions.
I think, once again, I always like to highlight bestsellers. As Scott mentioned, the card box has really taken off in the past year. I know you guys are always looking for what's hot, what does the market like, you know, what's moving off the shelves. This has definitely been accepted by players and is growing in popularity. I guess our mini character guard as well, Scott, is growing rapidly.
Well, oh yeah, you're right. And I wanted to mention that, Bill, real quick for the retailers. Strangely, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Players prefer to use the mini character guard on their existing outer sleeves, as opposed to how Magic players typically like to use a perfect fit and put that in their outer sleeves. For whatever reason, they seem to less prefer the mini perfect, putting another outer sleeve on top of their outer mini character guards.
And then,
if that made sense.
and then the super hards was also a new SKU, as Jim just outlined in his chat. box there. That's a brand new SKU that is just dropping. I'm not even sure if you've got it in your warehouse yet. So
no, not yet.
Yeah,
taking orders for it.
Yeah, so that's on the way. And I think, Scott, I don't know if you overemphasized enough that the new Hyper Phoenix, boxed with a character artwork on it versus our standard packaging. This is a transition, and this is a new movement for us to move to a more premium packaging. Looks good on the shelf, and we know it's going to be a good seller. So historically, KMC has been just
well, yeah, exactly, and that's another thing that we implemented, mainly because in the Japanese market, they're kind of no frills, and that's why at the Japanese factory they package them that way, is because the customer base in Japan doesn't really care for all the extras and the fluff. In fact, they don't really even sell that many colors over there. I mean, the Super Alphas in Japan only come in black, blue, and red, and they're not even planning on making more colors. So we were explaining to them that in America, people like to have options, and they kind of like to see flashy packaging. So we created the Hyper Phoenix packaging. In Japan, the Hyper Phoenix product is actually just called Hyper Strong. They don't even have the whole Hyper Phoenix persona that we put onto the product here.
You guys wouldn't by chance happen to have a physical copy of the Card Box 1000 in front of you, would you?
I do not. Sorry.
Manuel asked for another picture of it, and I think he's just looking for some extra detail.
When I stop sharing my screen, I'll pop the link in from the Tellurian Community College video, because he goes over it all with the review and everything.
Perfect, Scott. Yeah, because I think even the image we have on our website is similar to the image there. It's kind of at a different angle, but it's similar. But are there removable trays in that, Scott?
No,
I get that
they are all fixed.
Yeah, it's just okay. It's a solid box.
I saw a question earlier about selling into Latin America. I think it was Julie that had asked that question. I don't think fundamentally we don't have a problem. There's no restrictions on selling into Latin America if you can do it economically. Certainly, our USA branded products can be sent down there. They can't get them anywhere else. So it may be in kind of an exclusive way in on certain of our products there that are USA labeled.
Perfect. So yeah, Julio, reach out to your sales rep.
Julio, sorry, I said Julie. I didn't read it correctly. Julio, very good.
Julio is a frequent viewer of our webinars, and we appreciate it very much.
Great. From Latin America?
Correct.
Muy bien. Muy bien.
But yeah, I don't see any questions at the moment. So I don't know if you've got any last words, Bill or Scott. If we haven't got inventory into the warehouse, we just put in a large order with KMC. If it hasn't hit the warehouses soon, it will be hitting them very soon. So you're more than welcome to restock. We did expand our reach on some products and brought it into more warehouses than we had been stocking it previously. So we're expecting that we're going to have some sales increases, and we will be bringing stuff in on a more regular basis so that we're stocked consistently. There are some items that move through, as Bill mentioned, very quickly, and we're kind of at the whim at import containers and that whole schedule that's going on across industry right now. But obviously, we do the best we can to stock up with what we see on the sales side. So we will continue to at least put those orders in front of Bill and Scott and hope for the best in terms of what we get filled on. But we do plan to expand our inventory levels.
Great. Well, Jim, we appreciate the kind words and the continued support. GTS has always been a big supporter of KMC, and we expect that to continue for a long time. It's a different world these days right now, indeed, in importing product, and bear with us if we're ever on back order. We've got order after order placed, and it's kind of a guessing game when it arrives because of international shipping. But rest assured, we've always got more product coming. And once again, top load perfects. If you're not familiar with our product line, if you're not selling our perfects, you're missing, you're missing opportunities to sell, because that is by far our best, rock solid product line as far as the market goes. We'd love to see you all have success with a deeper cut into our SKUs, the character guards, and of course our new products that we've carefully analyzed and brought to market based on what we're hearing out there. So let Jim know if there's anything we can do to help support your sales and to have success with KMC, because many are these days, and we appreciate all your support.
And yeah, as Bill and Scott mentioned, the Hyper Phoenix and the Super Hard are the new items. We are taking pre-orders on those two SKUs right now. We did send out a marketing blast on our Facebook page on Monday, I believe. So there's additional information there, and obviously links to the products that you can click on to get those items ordered. I believe both those products, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill or Scott, but I believe those are supposed to release here soon. So we could see those here in the next 2-3 weeks if everything works out well.
You'll have them by the end of the month for sure. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We'll hope for the best.
Indeed.
But yeah, I don't see any other questions. So I think we will draw this to a close. Again, I want to thank Bill and Scott for joining us. We will plan to obviously have them on later in the year as new products get introduced. We are in the process right now of kind of doing some internal housekeeping with our KMC codes. We cleaned out a lot of excess codes that had been in there for a while. So basically what we have on our website now are all the current codes. We do have a few more to make sure that we get reactivated and have those available to you. If you see a warehouse that doesn't have product, you're more than welcome to place an order in your convenient warehouse, although we do kind of focus some vendors with our hub locations. That would be New York, Florida, Jacksonville, St. Louis, Washington, and Southern California, Orange. Those are our main 5 locations. Those locations should, for the most part, have a majority of the SKUs. So if you don't see something in your preferred warehouse, you go ahead and put those orders in. We'll do what we can to get those ordered. St. Louis is kind of our main default warehouse. So if you do orders out of our St. Louis warehouse, you can always keep an eye out for KMC products there. But we plan, as I mentioned, we plan to increase our inventory across the line with the KMC brand. So we should be hopefully fully stocked here moving forward, where we have inventory. At least if it starts selling good, we might not be able to keep up with that right away, but the goal is obviously to have enough back stock in advanced inventory that we can go from order to order. So we're hoping for the best there.
Great. Music to our ears. Thanks again for the support, Jim and GTS, and happy selling, everybody.
Perfect. We appreciate it there, Bill. And then again, just to close, if you're watching the video on our YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you're updated for future videos. And if you're a retailer and would like to be notified for future webinars, you can register to be notified using the link in the description on the YouTube page. And with that, I will bid everybody a happy Wednesday. Have a great selling day, and we will see everybody soon here on the GTS Retailer to Publisher webinar series. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks.